Okay, grand rising everyone. So we wonder why more bad things happen to us as compared to good. And it's very simple. In the first place, we grew up in very toxic environments. Sometimes it even starts with parents. There are parents who can never praise their children because they feel like children don't amount to anything good. Children are just mischievous. Children can't achieve anything profitable. So they say one derailing word after the other against their own children. Apart from parents, the community, friends and family, people we grew up with. We grew up in a system where we were never appreciated even for very little things. So it's hard for you to hear parents say, "Oh, thank you to a child," or "sorry." It was always, "You're a bad child, you're good for nothing, you don't amount to anything, you never do anything good," all the negative words. And so over time, these piles up like that in our lives. At school, we hardly get praised. It's not that things are changing. Teachers always had a cane. You don't have to be late for school, you are king. You don't have to speak vernacular. It's like society was always looking out for faults within us. And over time, if you don't get children that are stable, most of them pick these cues like, "That's how my life is supposed to be," or "That's who I am basically. I'm a bad person. I'll never amount to anything good." And so these things always stay there. They pile up. And you realize it's like a cup. We keep filling it with that. So by the time we grow up, instead of reaping the good from the cup, it's already filled with that. So what do we reap? Only bad things. And over time, these reflect in our lives. So when you start a conscious journey of being self-awakened, self-true to yourself, that is where the difficult work comes in. Because now you realize that you have to spend time taking off these layers of dirt that you have piled on your own skin. And sometimes there's even no support within the system in terms of like counselors or peer groups that can even advise you or talk through some of these things. And you realize that in the midst of all this, sometimes once in a while you have one good person come your way, try to change some of these things. And because you're so toxic and filled with that, it can even drive some of these people away because they are trying to bring you good. And what do you give back to them? Because you don't have any good thing in you in code to say. The only thing you project out there is ungratefulness, jealousy, greed, anger, frustration, and sometimes even depression. And before you know, some of these people also go away from you. So even as we move on this journey, in as much as a lot of negative things may have been put in us, let's learn with a few things, with reading, with a lot of positive words and affirmation around us to reprogram ourselves, which is not going to be easy, which is not going to come so fast. It could take years, decades and all that. A little drops of water, as we drop them into the dirt, we know gradually, even if they don't get all wiped out from us, the children after us wouldn't have to go through what we went through. When I was growing up, I heard some parents who go like, "What you're even going through is small. You do know what I went through," and so they project all that pain and anger on their children. But it's just my firm hope that we wouldn't have to do that to our children. We'll learn to only give them the positive side of us, blessing them, encouraging them, giving them the peace and hope that there's a better tomorrow. So in the near future, it can be a better place for our children and us when we are older to live in. And I wish us all the best peace and happiness.